back to our edition of On the Rise. I'm your host, Cherie Dorsett, and I'm so excited about tonight's interview. I'm actually on set, so if you hear some background noise, it's because we're here at Sweet Franchon's Peace, Love, and Poetry event. And before I get into her, last month we interviewed Dorothy Goins, and it was an awesome interview. She's an author from Philadelphia. The month before we interviewed Derek Reed. He's an entrepreneur. He's an awesome playwright. We wanted to flip the script a little bit this month, though, and so I found an amazing artist. Not an artist who paints with paint, but an artist who actually paints with words. And so, Sweet Franchon, I'm so excited that you sat down with me.
Thank you.
Let's just jump right into the interview. So let's tell our viewers and readers a little bit about yourself.
Well, first of all, I'm excited about what you're doing on the Rise. That's awesome. I congratulate you.
Thank you.
And I appreciate the opportunity to share about what we do and what I do. As you mentioned, my name is Sweet Franchon. My birth name is Franchon Robert Speaks.
Okay.
But the beautiful thing about life is you get to recreate yourself.
Yes.
So I'm Sweet Franchon to you. Okay? So I'm Sweet Franchon. I'm a performing poet. And out of my art, I've been able to create spaces and productions where we highlight other artists as well and other poets and singers. And I create venues, I create productions that allow me to be able to perform, and I brought some other people along with me.
So your vision is awesome. You know why? Because the vision of Voyce Magazine is to promote others, to create a platform for, of course, myself, I'm here, but also to create an atmosphere where people can share their gifts. So I love it.
Thank you.
That's a great platform. So in my introduction of you, I failed to let the viewers know you are a creator. You're not only a poet, but you're a production. Talk a little bit about what you're producing in the vision of Peace, Love, and Poetry.
Well, I want to tell you that Peace, Love, and Poetry was born out of my need to have a creative space to perform that I felt comfortable with in Wilmington, Delaware.
Okay.
So I wouldn't have to travel to D.C., New York, or Philadelphia to be able to enjoy the things that I wanted.
Okay.
So I created Peace, Love, and Poetry because I wanted to bring together all the things that interest me. Poetry, live music, a DJ, and just a hella good time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like having a party without being at my house.
Right.
So, and because I'm not a slam poet, it was very important to me to have music in the background to kind of compose.
Okay. Now stop there. So I'm new to this. I'm new to the terminology, and some of our viewers maybe need to. What's the difference between slam poetry and what?
So glad you asked that question. Think of poetry like you would any other music genre. Slam poetry is more your hip hop version.
Okay.
Okay. It's you know, and traditional poetry, like what I do, is more like your jazz. It's more comfortable. It's more laid in the cut. It's more storytelling in a different way.
Okay.
So, and because of the evolution of spoken word and performance poetry, now you have various styles, which I like to compare to genres of music to help people understand.
Gotcha. Awesome. And so, let's go back a little bit. I know you're here at this amazing venue. You're the creator, you're the author, but let's talk about the struggle. You know, to birth something like this, there's got to be an amazing struggle.
Yes.
So let's rewind. You want to share a little bit, you know, hurdles that you may have overcome to even get to the place that you're at now?
Sure. The first hurdle was to decide to do it.
Right.
Okay? To have the courage to do it. That's the biggest hurdle that we put in our own way.
Right.
It's like we think we like something, know something, but we're really afraid to put it out there and to take a chance on ourselves.
Right.
So that's the first hurdle I had to overcome. And I had to overcome the fact that I am good at what I do. I'm gifted in this. God has given me this gift, and it's not fair to not share it.
Right.
Okay, so I had to come to terms with that. That was a huge hurdle for me.
It's a powerful statement.
Thank you. It was a huge hurdle for me. And once I did that and I saw how well received it was, I was like, okay. But to get to this point, the hurdles are money. So at first I didn't have a job, and I was like, okay, I can do it. No.
Right.
You got to get some money coming in, people. You got to have money to produce. That's as simple as that. If you want to book out, it's going to cost you money. If you want put a video out is going to cost you some money. So the first realization was that I was dealing with finances despite the artistic part.
Okay.
And to be able to sit down and look at that and say, what's my outgoing expenses, what's my incoming, can I meet my budget? So that was the second hurdle, being able to say, I am an artist, but in order to have and to be able to create these spaces, I have to look at it from a business perspective.
And to add the cost.
I have to look at the cost. I have to make sure I'm at least breaking even every show, preferably a profit, you know.
Right.
And so I had to start looking at those things, and I had to pay attention. So that was the second largest hurdle for me. And the third largest hurdle is to be able to keep the momentum going, to stay creative, not only from the artistic side, being able to create, write poetry, giving myself that time and space to do that, but also to be able to continue to create events that are attractive to others, that that people will want to support, and other artists will find value in it.
Right.
So that was hard. And last and final hurdle for me, from that perspective, has also been just always balancing the artistic side with the business side. Not get too caught up in one or the other.
Gotcha.
And because they're both extremely important to the success of what you do.
Wow, that's amazing, because in the interviews in the past, we really didn't talk about counting the cost. And that's a major ingredient into birthing a dream and a vision. And so the cost, what would the cost be for you outside of financial? Like, what did you give up? What did you...
Oh, girl, I gave up a social life.
Yeah.
You know, it ain't cool to be 45 and dating on top of it.
Right.
And then, on top of the fact that I'm older dating, that I ain't got time for it. I had to sacrifice that.
Do you find that being intimidating to men?
I've heard.
Okay.
You know, and also to women, they fall in love with the artist or something on stage, and then they find out you're a regular girl with special gifts, and they're like, hold up. But so you got some people like that, but then you have people who can embrace you as the person, but they can't embrace the public side.
Gotcha.
So that's always a little challenging, but all is well in the universe. It'll come.
So things are picking up for you. I heard you were in Los Angeles and starting to travel, and that's amazing, and I'm so excited for you. So do you feel like now you're starting to make some noise, like your name is now being recognized in the area?
Yes. The good news is that I focused on the quality of the brand.
Okay.
I always chose quality over quantity.
Okay.
So I wouldn't try to be everywhere and to do everything.
Okay, that's
And I would just focus on one thing at a time. And I would not even take on larger things if I knew I wasn't prepared with my team, with my money, with all of those things. And now it's growing, and I'm finding the importance of having a strong team. I have people who are really, it's like building a family. So you got to, some it works out, some it don't, and all that kind of stuff. And now that I've built a strong support network from an artist and business perspective, I'm able to move into larger venues and other cities. I'm comfortable now to go into other cities. And also I've gained a lot of confidence as a performer. So I'm not afraid to go out and perform in other cities by myself without the whole team, the band, the other artists. So that helps.
That's so amazing. She's saying some key things here, guys. I'm not sure if you're catching it, but she's taking her time. She's building a team of supporters, and not only that, she's counting the cost. And I want to skip ahead a little bit to some of the questions. You do poetry, and poetry is, I'm a singer, so I love words, but it's nothing but poetry, just a little bit faster. That's all it is. So what motivates you? Where do you get your content from? Is it life? Where do your words come from? What inspires you?
Well, I noticed that the more I relax in it, it becomes an extension of my voice, my spiritual voice, my experience as a black woman, as a mother, my experiences. But because, when you're a songwriter or a musician, you have a tendency to be a people watcher. You know what I mean? And as a people watcher, everybody has a story to tell.
That's true.
So it's your job to watch them and to see that story and to try to interpret that story into your work. So that's where my inspiration comes from.
That's powerful. So just take a couple of minutes. I want to give out your contact information. Are you willing to go anywhere? I mean, if a church said, hey, we're doing this.
I do churches, schools, what do you...
So there's no limit.
There's no limit. I just, I need to know my demographics so I can know if I got to be a good girl or if I can be a bad girl. You know what I mean? So, but I do churches a lot because I do a lot of stuff about spiritual journey.
Okay.
So I do churches, even though it's not Christian based, but I
Okay.
do churches and spiritual communities. Do a lot of colleges. We're doing Delaware State. We've done Cheney.
Okay.
We do a lot of those. We do a lot of private events.
Okay.
Birthday parties, retirements, and
Yeah.
things like that. So we get a lot of those calls
So
as
that's
well.
amazing. So we're going to post Franchon's information on the website so you'll be able to contact her. I want to thank you for sharing your story. I mean, it's just inspiring to see this and to actually see it with my eyes. You guys can't see, but there's a band here and it's so colorful. She has supporters here and they're here before the show is even starting just to hear her. And this is amazing. Out of Wilmington, Delaware, is birthing this amazing woman in this dream of yours. So I congratulate you. I would love to sit back with you maybe in a year or two and see where you are. I might have to catch up with you. But, thank you for sitting down and talking with us.
Thank you.
And we're going to go from there. You're going to hear more from Franchon. I would love to follow back up with you, maybe get some clips of your poetry.
I'd love to
and
send some stuff to you. But can I say a few things?
Sure.
Because again, it's not just about me, and I appreciate you
Yeah.
being willing to share our information on the website, www.peacelovepoetry.com. But our featured artist tonight is Adrena Bond. She's going to be our featured singer tonight. We also have, I want to talk about this lovely space that we're in. We're at the Film Brothers Co-op studios in Wilmington, Delaware, and I have to say he's another Wilmingtonian that believes in the arts.
Wow.
And he's made sure he's kept his film base, even though he writes scripts and things nationally.
Okay.
He's kept his film base here, so I like to shout out to the Film Brothers for allowing us to share the space. He's very unselfish with his resources.
Wow, that's amazing. And we need that, especially in the kingdom. We need people that are willing to share what they have and bring people forward. And so you have it here on the April edition of On the Rise. You got to count the cost. You got to build a team. You got to take your time. It's not about just rushing and getting to the thing, but building something of quality. And so I definitely know that I was blessed from what Franchon shared. Her wisdom is amazing, and I'm sure you were too. Until next time, from Voyce Magazine's family to yours, have a blessed day.